The story of Coyote Pass is one of the most symbolic and defining chapters in the entire history of Sister Wives, because it not only captures the ambition and hope that once surrounded the Brown family, but also reflects the gradual unraveling of relationships, trust, and unity that eventually left the property as nothing more than a reminder of what could have been. In 2018, after years of moving from one state to another in search of both opportunity and stability, the Browns announced they were leaving behind their carefully constructed homes in Las Vegas to pursue a new future in Flagstaff, Arizona. It was presented on the show as a fresh start and a chance for the family to finally settle down for good. They pooled their money together and purchased roughly 14 acres of land for about $820,000, a huge investment that was described as the foundation of their legacy. Kody Brown was especially passionate about this decision, often standing on the raw property, gesturing toward the distant mountains, and speaking in lofty terms about how this would be the place where each wife would have her own home, where their children and grandchildren would gather, and where the family would finally prove that plural marriage could thrive. He painted a picture of a compound where everyone was close enough to share daily life, but independent enough to feel comfortable. And for a moment, viewers believed that perhaps the Browns had finally found the land that would anchor their complicated family structure. However, the dream was far more fragile than the confident speeches suggested, because even as the land was purchased, disagreements and doubts surfaced. Christine openly admitted that she had no excitement about starting over yet again, and that she did not trust the motivations behind the move to Flagstaff, believing that it was more about Robyn and her children than about the good of the whole family. Meri appeared detached and uninspired. Janelle showed cautious optimism, but focused on practical concerns such as costs and zoning, while Robyn insisted that this was the best path forward. From the very beginning, the seeds of division were planted, and what was supposed to symbolize unity instead exposed how differently each wife felt about the vision. As time passed, the land remained empty, and every discussion about building revealed deeper cracks in the family. Kody pushed for a single massive home that he insisted would bring everyone together, while most of the wives resisted the idea and argued for separate houses. The cost of infrastructure, utilities, and construction in Flagstaff was far higher than anticipated, and the reality of financing multiple builds loomed large. Arguments about who would pay what, whether to borrow more money, and whether every wife was fully committed, stalled progress to the point that the dream never advanced beyond sketches and speeches. Janelle tried repeatedly to keep hope alive by pointing out that this property could be a long-term asset for their children, but her practical voice was often drowned out by frustration, indecision, and financial pressure. Christine grew increasingly resistant, saying that she could not imagine spending the rest of her life on that land, and fans began to notice that whenever Coyote Pass was discussed, Christine seemed withdrawn while Robyn was supportive and Kody was defensive. Over time, viewers started to treat the land itself as a character in the show, a backdrop that carried all of the tension, a piece of earth that was supposed to hold dreams, but instead magnified division. The turning point came in 2021 when Christine decided to leave the plural marriage entirely. Her departure shocked both the family and the audience, but in hindsight, her disengagement from Coyote Pass had been one of the clearest signs that she no longer believed in the collective vision. When she formally separated from Kody, she made her position unmistakably clear by selling her share of the property back to Kody and Robyn for only $10, a symbolic act that resonated with fans as a declaration that she would never again tie her life to a project she saw as broken. It was both a financial move and an emotional statement of freedom, and for viewers, it underscored how little faith Christine had in the dream. Meanwhile, Janelle attempted to demonstrate that living on the property was possible by moving into an RV on the land during the summer of 2021. For her, this was not just an adventure, but an effort to push the family toward commitment. But instead of sparking progress, it left her feeling isolated and unsupported. She faced harsh conditions, lacked basic infrastructure, and endured the silence of family members who did not rally around her. Kody rarely visited or helped, and his absence was glaring for fans who had listened to him talk endlessly about the vision. This contrast between Janelle's determination and Kody's neglect became one of the most discussed storylines of the season, and planted the seeds for Janelle's eventual separation from Kody as well. Meri, already estranged from Kody, barely acknowledged the property, and seemed to drift further into her own independent life, while Robyn continued to frame the land as important, which only reinforced the widespread perception that she and Kody were aligned while the others were sidelined. By the time Christine had moved on and Janelle was questioning her marriage, Coyote Pass had lost its identity as a family project and had become instead a symbol of failed leadership. Fans filled social media with jokes and commentary, mocking the repeated shots of empty land and asking how many more seasons would pass before any progress was made. Many called it a financial black hole, pointing out that the Browns had sunk hundreds of thousands of dollars into a property they never built on while also paying rent or mortgages on their current homes. Others argued that it was never about building at all, but about keeping a storyline alive for television, suggesting that the property was more valuable as a talking point than as an actual homestead. What was once a source of curiosity became a point of frustration, with audiences rolling their eyes whenever Kody once again described the dream as though it were still alive. As viewers watched the family unravel, with Christine leaving, Janelle separating, and Meri fully detaching, it became increasingly absurd to imagine a compound ever being built. Coyote Pass had gone from being a symbol of unity to being a metaphor for division, a wide-open space that highlighted just how empty the promises of the Brown family had become. The final chapter of this long saga arrived in 2025, when the news broke that the Browns had sold Coyote Pass for approximately $1.5 million. On paper, this looked like a success, a sizable profit compared to the original purchase price of $820,000. But for fans who had watched the story unfold for 7 years, the sale was not a victory, but an ending that carried both relief and disappointment. It was relief because the storyline had dragged on with no progress for so long that viewers were exhausted, but it was disappointment because the dream that had once been pitched as a generational legacy had evaporated into nothing more than a real estate deal. For Kody, the sale symbolized the official death of his compound dream, and while he tried to present it as a practical choice to move on with life, the reality was clear that the family he once tried to lead no longer existed. Robyn expressed her sadness and said that she had always imagined her children growing up on that land, but her words only emphasized the narrative that the land had always been more about her connection with Kody than about the family as a whole. Christine's reaction was one of closure and freedom, pointing out that she had already walked away from the land years before and had no regrets. Janelle admitted that she was disappointed because she had truly believed in the potential of the property, but acknowledged that there was no path forward once the marriages had fractured. Meri made little comment at all, her detachment confirming that she had long since stopped caring about Coyote Pass. The division of the profits highlighted what the Browns had become by 2025, not a united plural family working toward a collective dream, but a group of individuals pursuing separate futures connected only by their past. Fan reaction to the sale was intense and immediate. Social media lit up with thousands of comments, memes, and debates. Some fans laughed at the irony that after years of speeches, tears, and arguments, the land had simply been sold off. Others expressed sadness that the children who had once been promised a place to gather with cousins and grandparents would never see that vision realized. Many questioned whether the family truly profited once all the years of mortgage payments, taxes, and missed opportunities were considered, and some even suggested that the emotional toll outweighed any financial gain. But above all, fans agreed that the sale was symbolic of the collapse of the family itself. What began as a dream of unity ended as proof of division. Every time Coyote Pass had been shown on the series, it represented hope for a future together, but by the end it represented only the reality of separations, disappointments, and unfulfilled promises. For longtime viewers, the sale was not just about closing a chapter of land ownership, but about closing the illusion that the Browns could ever truly live the vision they once sold to the world. Coyote Pass became a metaphor for the show itself, beginning with grand dreams and ending with fractured relationships. Ultimately, the reality of Coyote Pass is that it was never about the land itself, but about what it revealed. It revealed that without equal trust and shared commitment, even the grandest vision collapses. It revealed that financial ambition cannot compensate for emotional neglect. It revealed that unity cannot be forced through speeches or property lines, but must be built through respect and balance. For Christine, it revealed that walking away could bring freedom. For Janelle, it revealed that determination alone cannot hold a dream together. For Meri, it revealed that detachment is sometimes the only way to cope. For Robyn, it revealed that being the last one standing does not always mean winning. For Kody, it revealed that leadership without empathy eventually crumbles. And for fans, it revealed the truth behind the spectacle, that what had been promoted as a unique lifestyle built on faith and family was in reality a fragile structure vulnerable to jealousy, financial strain, and human frailty. The sale of Coyote Pass in 2025 marked the end not just of a piece of property but of an entire vision that once defined Sister Wives. And as viewers look back, they will remember not what was built there, but what was lost there. The land is gone, the dream is gone, and what remains is the story of a family that showed the world both the hope and the heartbreak of chasing a vision too fragile to last.